This is the Bear Country Outdoors Barely a Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Joyce, and with me is James Forsland and Chris Cantrell.
Well, thanks for joining us. It's good to be back here, and I'd like to thank everyone again for watching. And we're going to start right off the bat with announcing the winner of the giveaway.
All right.
So take it away, Jim.
Here we go. So this is from our last episode, which if you guys were watching or listening, you could have put a comment on the YouTube channel to win this lovely prize package here. We have the Tamarack hat. It was a bag of coffee, right? And then the instant coffees and a T-shirt.
Yes.
So
from Black Rifle Coffee, thank you very much.
I'm not
Thank
going
you
to
very
look
much.
because
Black Rifle and
I was just
Tamarack.
looking at all the numbers here. Look at this. Look at everybody. I'm doing everything legal here. Brad Thompson. Brad Thompson. Brad, you won the prize pack.
Come on down.
Come on down, Brad. So we're also going to do another giveaway, which is going to be similar to the last giveaway.
It's actually going to be that hat that Jim was using for the giveaway.
That's right. So we're going to give away a Tamarack hat, right?
Yeah.
And then a couple.
another
Don't spoil it.
Oh,
don't
no,
spoil it. There's a couple
okay.
other things.
All right, I'll keep it a secret, guys. You got to wait till the end.
So what are we talking about today, Dougie?
So we're gonna start off with talking about spring bear hunting. And I figured we'd talk about that since it's springtime coming up soon, and then also Chris had something that he wanted to talk about as well on top of that.
Yeah.
So
Chris, why don't you start us out?
I will. I'll start with spring bear, and then I'm going to tie in to some current events.
Some current events.
So
he
if
says.
Doug takes too long to put this podcast out, I'm sorry, and they won't be current.
Well, I think we're starting to get a little bit better idea how to do it. So
Yeah.
shouldn't be too long.
Doug's doing like strong work.
Strong work, he says.
Yeah, strong work. So spring bear. I don't know if you guys can see this on the YouTubes, but behind James there, which would be his left shoulder, is a lovely spring bear that he shot. And unfortunately, we can't do that right now.
Not in Washington.
Not in
in
Washington.
Washington State.
So we're shut down. We got a PETA run game commissioner type deal right now, which is really disappointing because that's not where they belong.
That's right.
But we have options as sportsmen if you so choose to spend the money because none of the stuff is cheap. You can go different places. Like if you were in my game room right now, you would see some other bears that I've shot in Alaska. You can go spring bear hunting in a bunch of different places in Alaska. I prefer Southeast Alaska, although I haven't been bear hunting a lot of other places. I know there's a lot of
Right.
other options.
It's such a big
It's-
state.
It's littered in bears in
Yeah.
Alaska.
I had an internet conversations with one of our very, very close, very dear friends, Adam Grenda, and I talked to him about bear hunting, and he pointed out that he can shoot them like rats up where he's at. So
Yeah.
we can't here. We can't shoot them. Period. So some of the spots are draws. So if you are listening to this right now and you want to go, like say for instance, a lot of the spots in Southeast Alaska are going to be a draw, and you would put in for that in December.
Are you talking about like in general, like even on the mainland, or is it just mostly the islands?
That's an excellent question. I know
We're not Alaska experts.
I do know. I've been drawn for a couple of different spots. Like I did get drawn for one spot on the mainland which was a draw for non-residents. Anyways, if you're a resident, obviously you don't.
Yeah.
You don't give a shit. You're not listening to our podcast anyways because you guys are way cooler than us.
Yeah, right.
If you live in Alaska.
Yeah.
So for a non-resident like us being in Washington, you would have to put in December. Like say for instance, if you put in last year, December 22, you could not go spring bear hunting in 23. It'd be spring bear for 24 or the fall bear for 23.
So they're like way ahead of.
You have to really plan it
Yeah.
out because their season doesn't start in December. It starts in, I believe it's July. I think it's middle of the year. But
yeah, they get a way earlier winter.
yeah,
obviously.
it's incredible though. Like there's like this bear is longer than Like this is a 6'6" bear, and the bear in my gun shop is like 6'3", 6'4". But the skull was like an inch bigger in that Alaska bear. Actually, James had pointed out this bear. If you're watching, you can see.
That's the Alaska bear.
This is the Alaska bear. Like
Yeah.
the sagittal crest. Is that what that is?
Yeah, something like that.
It's much more pronounced. It's just a different shape. It's really weird. Like they just have like
Their skull's shape are different.
it's
for sure.
it's totally different. So
There's
I don't
more of
know.
a ridge on the back that kind of runs all the way back.
Yeah, like they have a little bit of grizzly in them or something. Like their claws are bigger, their heads are bigger. It was a much blockier bear. Like it was like, I mean, it looks like a Volkswagen. Like when I shot
robust,
thick.
Yeah,
It's
got incredibly long claws for
Yeah,
a black bear.
oh,
I mean, its
yeah.
claws are as big as my finger.
They're huge. Yeah, they're the biggest black bear claws I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
it
And
almost
it's-
looks like it has grizzly blood.
And
in it.
where I shot that bear, there are no brown bears. Period. Like there's none.
just for some reason,
Yeah, which is I'm a big fan. Maybe they just shot them out, or I don't know.
and it's coastal, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
maybe the claws are for like pulling up mussels off the beach or something like that. I don't know.
If you're an internet's nerds and you know why the black bears have such big claws there, maybe it's some sort of grizzly, maybe it's some sort of digging. I don't know. If you want to comment,
Yeah,
you could be entered to win our great prize package. Thank you, Black Rifle Coffee
There you
and
go.
Tamarack.
that's right. So when
Which
you're
is the
when you're
next
hunting
giveaway.
up in Alaska, like what kind of stuff are you guys focusing on for spring bear?
So I've been for spring and for fall, and it's totally different. Your tactics are totally different. Where you hunt is totally different. Even like if you're going coastal or you're hunting on the islands, it's a lot of I really enjoy it. It's super fun because it's incredibly unique. I think because you like in the spring you're hunting bears off of a boat, like because the bears will come down to the shore and they eat. Like they're eating like kelp and like basically anything they can eat off the beach. But
Right.
like you see them more on the beach, and then they have a lot of like these like freaking beautiful, most picturesque like estuaries that come out, and it's like the thickest, like greenest grass you've ever seen, like stunning. Which is mind blowing because it's all like you'd think like the salt water like stuff wouldn't grow this well. Like it's beautiful. So that big bear that I shot was up in an estuary eating grass. And then we've seen a bunch of bears down, like low tide, they're down eating stuff on the beach. And it's just a really fun way to hunt bears because like here in Western Washington, like you're hunting in the thick timber, like, Eastern Washington, depending on where you're at, it's a different type of hunting. So, hunting on a boat, like
Maybe we should try that.
it's
want to.
it's so much fun. Like, yeah, I mean, we're trolling. Like the last time,
Just
excuse
float
me,
down the river.
the first time I went, we're trolling out a ways, right? And we were trolling for halibut, and I hooked up like 100-pound halibut while we were glassing the shoreline for bears.
Nice.
And I was like, this doesn't
Dude, that sounds
suck.
awesome.
Oh, it was killer. Yeah.
Surf and turf.
Yeah. Don't go to Alaska. It's terrible. Everyone hates it. Sorry, Adam. I'm giving away all the sweet spots.
Yeah. He could care less about black bears. I
Yeah,
think.
I know.
Shooting big browns every year.
It's super fun. Like fall is completely different because you're hunting the streams. It's where every single bear is at because they have billions of fish there.
Yeah.
But like seeing them down on the beach, like we've seen bunches and bunches and bunches of bears just cruising on the boat. Like you're fishing, having a great time. The weather is, it's Alaska. Sometimes it could be good, sometimes it could be
It
bad.
could be really bad.
But it was just it's a very unique hunt, and I'm sure anybody who's listening has seen a hunt like that on the Outdoor Channel.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or have wanted to go on a hunt like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Doug wants to go.
I want to go.
You're damn right I want to go.
We need to plan it out and actually put in for some of those Southeast Alaska
Yeah.
units.
It's super fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And the bears, the biggest, and this is the God's honest truth, like the biggest bears I've ever seen are up there. And I'm not kidding you. I saw a bear run across the road, and we're in East Jesus. There is nothing. There's not a person. There's just a beautiful paved road because Alaska's trying to use up the money, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And this bear runs across that looked like an NBA player. I mean, it was like incredibly long, incredibly tall. This is spring. It was thin, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But in my mind, I thought, oh my God, that's got to be like at least a 7 foot plus bear, because I'd never seen a bear up there that big. And honestly, in Washington, I've seen bears. This is a 6.5 foot bear, and I've seen bears bigger than this. I've never killed a bear bigger than that, but I've seen guys shoot like high 6s, 6'10", 6'9". I've never seen anyone shoot a 7 foot bear. This bear was massive, and I was talking to a guy who is incredibly humble and probably one of the best hunters I've ever met, and he kills just smasher blacktails, huge bears all the time. And I was talking to him about this estuary I wanted to hunt, and he's telling me stories about, oh yeah, I killed some bears over here, and I killed some deer over here, and I did this. You should go. And he's giving me all these tips, like this is what I would do. A lot of it's like, hey, hike 350 miles up this vertical cliff.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, but thanks for the pro tip. And he told me a story. And I believe him, and people are going to call baloney on this, but he shot a bear in this super secret spot I'm not going to tell you about, but he taped it out from nose to tail. Before it was skinned, it was 8'3".
Dude, that's insane.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and honestly, after some of the bears I've seen up there, I totally believe it, because I've never ever seen bears that
That is
long.
insane.
And the bear that I shot, I thought
It was gigantic.
I thought it was big, and then I saw other bears, and I was like, oh my God, I pulled the trigger too soon. Like, seriously, I mean, that bear that ran across the road, now that I think about it, like in my mind and how wide the road is, like, oh, okay, that's 10 foot, I'm like, that could have very well been close to an 8 foot bear. I mean, it looked cartoonish.
Like mid-7s probably, or
yeah,
something.
it was huge.
Yeah, that's
and then when he
crazy.
told me, I'm like, the guy's never lied. I mean, there's no...
Like, it's taken up most of the lane when it ran across the road.
Yeah. And
Big is what you're saying?
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, yeah, it was a big bear.
And I think a lane in a road, I think, is typically 11 feet.
There you go.
Yellow line to white line.
Jeez. That's crazy.
So I shorted it. I thought it was 10. It was a 30 foot bear. It was 30 feet.
It's a huge bear.
It was 30 feet. It was 900 foot square. But it's an incredible. It's like I really like going on hunts that are like multi-purpose. Like, I think that's kind of why I like Alaska, or not only Alaska but Africa so much, because it's like you're not. Don't get me wrong. I love a hardcore mule deer hunt, or going after just a bear or just an elk. But like when you go and you have like when on that Alaska hunt, we dropped crab pots, we dropped shrimp pots, we caught halibut, we caught lingcod, we caught some salmon, we hunt for bears, we picked mushrooms. Like, I mean, it was incredible.
You do it
all of that.
Yeah,
Right.
You get the whole experience while you're there.
Yeah, and
Because what else are you gonna do?
yeah, it's
You
just
know?
it's
Stock
literally
up.
like
That's freezer
Yeah.
filling time right
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
I had this conversation with another hunting buddy of mine, Travis, who's killed a million things over there as well, and he's like,
We'll have to drive our own reefer truck up there.
yeah, like literally, he's like,
Fill it full of meat.
Yeah.
you could not starve to death up there. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Like, you could have no arms and no legs, and you could still be fine. You could just like roll around, and
It's
like,
just resource abundant.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really it's an incredible place, And I know some people are like, oh, don't talk about the cool spots because you're gonna ruin it. And like, the 8 people that are listening to this right now, like, go there. It's awesome. It's worth the trip.
And it's such an enormous state. Like,
Oh my God,
it's so big. Even when I've been up, I've only been hunted in Alaska one time, and when we went there, we barely even scratched the surface on this one little small area. But it was so enormous. You just feel like it's almost overwhelming in some ways when you get in there, and you're like,
100%.
you're just like, man, this
Yeah,
is
'cause
so
it's like
vast.
the tip of the iceberg, basically.
Right,
Just-
and you feel like just like so small.
Yeah.
When you're in,
100%.
especially on the mainland.
Yeah.
But we saw a bunch of bears when we were up there, and that was in September, during moose season. So
That's another topic we'll talk about some.
yeah, moose hunting topic. We'll have to talk out of state stuff later, but. Jumping from Alaska, we could jump into talking about maybe since we can't hunt in Washington, out of state stuff like Montana, Idaho.
I think so. Places I've been, James has hunted watching. Well, he's the luckiest man alive. He's got a ton of spring bear tags because that's how good he is. I've hunted spring bear in Montana, Alaska, and then I'm actually doing a hunt up in Alberta with my dad for spring bear. So there's a lot of options. I'm typically not a pay to play kind of guy. This is besides Africa. This will be my first like guided trip, which
Right.
But if Jay Inslee doesn't want me to give my money to the state, I'll take it somewhere else, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to take like a couple truckloads of guys and airplanes, and we're going to go all up, and we're going to have a fantastic time. We're going to shoot some bears. I'm super excited. My butcher's not so excited because I told him how many bears I was going to bring back. I called Emery. Thanks, Emery. You're awesome.
That's awesome.
So I'm super excited about that. But it's like
Make sure there's no fur in there.
I know. Like I brought her a huge hunk of frozen meat. She was super pissed. It was like 150 pounds. So sorry. But I think it was horrible. I think that there are a lot of options, and don't get me wrong, like I'm probably gonna piss some guys off with this, but like turkey hunting is fun in the spring. Like you get out for a couple days and I shoot a turkey, but like it's not bear hunting.
No,
It's not even close to bear hunting.
it doesn't do it for me like bear hunting does.
I mean,
It is fun, but
it's fun,
It's fun.
it's like a slip and slide is fun. Meh, it's not bear hunting.
it's not.
So I'm really, really excited to get up there and do some of that. I want to say James could possibly go to Montana for some spring bear,
I'm planning on it,
which is going to be really exciting. Doug's going to stay here and process all of our footage
Yeah.
and put beautiful things on the
I'm
internet.
still
for you
trying
guys.
to get him
Hold
to
down the
like
fort.
sneak away. Like, come on, Doug, come on over to Montana for the weekend.
Yeah.
It's only a 7-hour
It's
drive.
only a 7-hour drive.
Come on. It would be fun.
I just need to pick up a pilot's license, and then we can be there real quick.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. I know a couple guys.
Hey.
I do.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing Montana, and
I don't know
hopefully
if my pocketbook can handle it, though.
Yeah, that I know is a big concern for a lot of guys, and like all of us are just like, we go get up in the morning and put the kids on the bus and go to work, just like
Right.
everyone else. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, I would love to win the lottery. So any like lottery fairies out there just want to sprinkle down
Send
some.
us some magic.
Yeah, that would be
Oh
great.
man, we'd hunt every state.
Oh my god, dude.
I'd be hunting
I'd be the murderous son of a bitch.
3
you
or
ever
4
met in your whole
states for
life.
spring bear. And then my wife would probably divorce me because I'd be gone so much.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Yeah.
But you could do Idaho, right? You can buy over-the-counter tags in Idaho.
So my
I believe.
plan is I'm going to hunt Montana.
Okay.
And I already have Idaho deer and elk tags, so I already purchased a big game license. So
Is Tiffany listening to this?
I don't know if she's listening or not, but
This is what do they say? Just for the boys?
this is just for the boys, everybody.
The boys. Oh, boy.
But if I tag out early enough in Montana, which it can happen, or maybe it won't happen.
Yeah.
But if I tag out the first couple days, because I only have a lot amount of time that I get to spend spring bear hunting,
Yeah.
I will probably jump over into Idaho and try to fill a tag. And then if that goes well, maybe I'll buy another tag, because you buy 2 tags in Idaho.
Oh.
And then I could kill potentially 2 bears in Idaho, a bear in Montana. And then for fall, I'll have 2 bear tags for Washington. So I'll just be like piles of bears and
Loaded
be
up on
taxidermy
All the bears.
in debt.
All the Bernstein Bears.
I can't wait. I hope my taxidermy bill is so ridiculous this year.
It is going to be. I still haven't even caught up from last season, dude.
Yeah.
Like I got stuff I still need to take in, unfortunately. But
We did
it's a good problem to have.
we did have a great trip over to
Good
Montana
problem to have, yeah.
and saw Hayes and the Bobcat mount he did was incredible. Mm-hmm. And then we have a really, really good guy here back home, Brandon Flansburgh at Stuffed Taxidermy. If you guys need a good taxidermist local,
Brandon's a G.
he's out of like Dryden, Cashmere area, just past Leavenworth. So it's a great. I like it because like you could take like the wife or the kiddo over, hit Leavenworth, stop by the candy store, get a little chocolate, maybe some. Oh, they got the sauces. They got the best. Those jars. There's like
Yeah.
sauce.
Always
What is
get-
that?
I
What's the
always
name of
get
that place?
The Alps.
The
Alps,
Alps,
yeah.
Oh.
Alps candy
Shout
shop.
out to the Alps. Alps, if you want to sponsor
Oh no,
Bear
I'm
Country.
talking about
You
the one over by
have
like
you tried
Shasta.
the peanut butter crunch there?
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
The peanut brittle.
No, it's not the peanut brittle. It's the peanut butter crunch.
And the malt balls got like an inch of
Ooh,
chocolate on them.
Oh boy!
Oh,
Oh, geez. Here we are. We're talking about candy.
oh, sorry. So
Get us
Brandon,
all sidetracked there.
Brandon's like a half an hour past.
Yeah.
Leavenworth. He does incredible work.
Yeah.
A lot. If you're watching, like some of the deer behind us, he's done. He's done a bunch of life size mounts for me.
He did a couple deer for me last year and 2 bears.
He does really good work, like super good work. He doesn't take 2 years. He's very responsive. He's very open to my ridiculous ideas of shit that I want. Like, I have a mount coming back from some of the critters I trapped last year, and it's a bobcat like sneaking down this log branch thing with like possums hanging off of it. And I was like, I want it to hang above my door in the gun shop. And he's just like, sure, dude.
Whatever you want.
Sounds good. I can do it.
Yeah, he did an interesting bear mount for me with like a bear in a tree and then a bear looking up at a bear in a tree.
Oh, if you guys, it's on your, is that in your Instagram?
It's on the Bear Country Instagram somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like hidden in a bunch of photos, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
You guys
I don't
should
have
check
it
that
up;
out.
it just sits there. But
It's
one of these days I'll have it up.
That's a sweet mount.
Yeah, it is a cool mount. But I'm really excited to get a bear mount from Hayes this year over in Montana because I'm planning on shooting a Montana bear. I'm just gonna bring it to John.
He makes
Colton.
dandy rugs.
Yeah, his rugs are incredible. One thing when we were over there last time, what we learned about was the process that he uses.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know if I want to give away all of his tips. I don't know if he'll get mad at me, but
Yeah, you might want to be hush hush.
yeah, I'm gonna be hush hush on his tips.
And the other thing I don't want people to see on the internet, so I'm gonna turn around. I'm like, James, remember what remember that? Remember that?
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah,
that was awesome.
yeah. It's a pretty cool process that he uses. He makes them look as if they were standing there alive, and the way he does it is really cool.
I love good taxidermy.
Yeah. Incredible work on bears and cats.
Complete side note on that. I went to the SCI, like the national deal. It was in Vegas when I went. I think it was in Nashville this last year. But if you guys ever want to see some incredible taxidermy, like
I can only imagine.
they had, I'm not shitting you, they had one mount and it was like 30-something life-size black wildebeest crossing a river.
Oh, it's
Like
crazy.
that was a mount. And I'm like, who has a house big enough?
Yeah, no kidding.
For that,
They had a mountain. I'm not kidding you. There was a whole pride of lions with like trees and the whole. I mean, it was massive. I bet you it was like, I don't know, 3,500 square feet.
yeah,
It's crazy.
One mount. I mean, it was nuts. So, pro tip: go see that. Go support those guys too because they're solid.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get back to some spring bears.
Sorry, I got sidetracked.
We went on a taxidermy
I know,
tangent
I
there,
know,
which
I
is
love me some
fine.
taxidermy.
I love taxidermy.
that's the good thing about this is we just kind of go where we want to go.
Doug, if you want to do some spring bear, excluding
Where would I want to go?
Yeah,
right?
excluding because we can't go to Washington, which obviously if we were going to go spring bear hunting, we would hunt in Washington because it's an incredible state for bears, and we're freaking
know it well,
flush with
yeah.
them. Mm-hmm. Lorna.
Lorna.
Don't get me going. Sorry, I'm getting irritated. Where would you go, Doug?
I'd really like to go to Alaska.
Yeah,
That gets me intrigued.
it's incredible, Doug.
I bet.
And like I said, I think I remember as a young lad watching old Jim Shockey and Hunt Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
And I remember I want to say that, like they were trying to like
That would always be a cool one too.
they were trying to like classify the bears like different, like it was like a subspecies of black because they were so big, right?
Yeah.
I remember him saying something about that. Where
Yeah.
they're their own species,
Yeah.
basically.
And they are
And they're
enormous, dude.
untouched.
The insane amount of Boone and Crockett bears come off of
That's because
Vancouver
Jim
Island.
only shoots smashers, bro. You know?
Yeah.
It's Jim Shockey.
Well, and then you watch those old videos, and they're like, "Okay, we saw 25 bears today." I'm like, "Dear Lord!"
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
I'd be
would love
happy to
to
see
do that.
5.
I would. Now, don't get me wrong. I would hate to give any additional funds to old Trudeau, but I would love to support the guys up there that do that.
Yeah.
And anyone who's thought about it, those guys are hurting horribly because that guy is
Oh,
an absolute
yeah.
monster. And if you can go north the border and do a hunt, you guys definitely should, because those guys are on the struggle bus right now.
Yeah,
that would
for sure.
definitely be another one.
Yeah.
Could really
Yukon or Alberta or something like that
Yep.
would be fun.
Alberta would be good. I
And
know you're gonna tell us how it goes.
I'll report back. I'm super excited. Like I said, I'm dragging my
I definitely want to make it up to Saskatchewan too.
yeah.
We shoot a Saskatchewan whitetail.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a blast.
Well,
or a Saskatchewan muley. You've seen some of the muleys come out of there.
You know, the guy that I'm going with, which I'll report back.
Big bucks up there.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me some pictures of some whitetail they shot, and they were smashers. I mean,
I'm a
dude,
sucker for Massey bucks,
Dude.
and I love Massey bucks. And the northern Canada has probably the most Massey whitetails and most Massey mule deer, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
big, heavy. I don't know what makes them so heavy, but they got some dandies up there. But see, here we are again.
I
Going
wonder.
on another tangent.
Yeah, it must be the weather.
Dear
Yeah.
Lord,
Yeah,
that's what I want right there.
internet. That's a really, really
it's a really really nice buck.
just so thick.
Showing,
like carries
showing off the internet.
Carries the mass all the way out. Just a huge
I
whitetail.
know, dude. I want it.
All right. Well, getting back into the spring bear thing.
So spring bear. So Doug wants to hit Alaska.
Yeah.
I've been to Alaska. It's awesome. I've got drawn for spring bear here one time, because I don't get drawn for anything.
Yeah.
I have like 20 points in every category. So
You and everyone else in Washington State, dude.
yeah, I went last year to Montana with James and Brett, and it was an awesome hunt.
It was great.
I'm not gonna lie, I dropped the ball. Still stings. I might cry a little bit right now.
Sorry, Chris.
It's okay. You got the tissues over there, Dougie?
It's
You got a roll of paper towels. Is that it?
Yeah. If you guys are wondering, the episode in which he's speaking of is on our YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
go on and jump on there and smash that subscribe button.
Smash it.
smash. So I got on an incredible like color phase bear, like basically red. It's like brick red, stunning.
Oh, dude, such a beautiful
Stunning bear. And before the shot, I remember I go over and I was like, man, like why is my windage turret? It was turned 4 minutes to the right. And I'm like, that's weird. But I shot the day before, and I was like, oh, I must have done that, right?
Yeah.
And
for a reason.
For a reason, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would it be turned? But I always have, because I have zero locks on my turrets, right? So why wouldn't it be on the zero lock? And I'm having this conversation with myself, and I'm like, it should be fine.
As the bear's meandering around and you're trying
Yeah.
to get set up. Yeah.
And so we get set up. It was like,
It's in the back of your mind this whole time.
yeah, I have a guy calling out range. He's like 692. I dial it in, get set, touch off, gun doesn't go off. I'm like, what the hell? So anyways, I rack another round like it was a soft primer strike. I'm like, what's going on? And maybe I had a bunch of shit in my gun because we just climbed like a million miles up this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Get back on, get settled, shot felt good, touch off. It's freaking 4 minutes to the right. And the bear runs off like no second
dude, he
chance.
did not give you
No, he was
a
gone.
glance. Dude.
And
He's like, I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
And just gone.
And then I thought, well, maybe it was me, maybe it was, I don't know, maybe I yanked a shot, maybe I'm just getting old and falling apart, and we're hiking back down the mountain, and then it gets to me, and I'm like, hey guys, hold up, and I tell the cameraman, I'm like, hey, zoom in on this spot, straight across this canyon, there's a rock at it was like 702 or something, basically same, right? And there's a little tiny white patch. It was probably like, I would say 1 inch down, 2 inches max. And I dial in, touch off, center punch this little tiny white dot at 700 change. I'm like, After I turn the turret back to 0.
Yeah.
And so
It was just an unfortunate thing.
it
man.
happens. Everyone misses. I think if you're out there and you shoot enough, you're going to miss. And I'm not going to forget that.
Hey, since you're talking about misses,
Check your turrets.
Check your turrets.
I'm gonna help you out. You were not the only one to miss on that trip. And this is not on the video, by the way. We kept this very hidden. This is some.
We're getting real
Listen,
deep, guys.
this is getting to be some real talk here.
I thought we were in the tree of trust of the nest. We're not doing the
The nest of trust. All right, you guys that are listening and watching this get to hear something that I don't think we've ever announced on there.
And you're welcome.
So, anyways,
You're welcome.
so you remember that night, don't you?
100%.
So, me, Chris, and Tayshawn. Brett had left. Right? He had
Yeah.
left. It was just the three of us.
Yeah.
We went to this spot, and we hiked out to this point and we were watching for a while, and for some reason we're like, just doesn't seem like it's gonna work out tonight. This spot doesn't, like, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a waste of an evening. So I was like, let's go jump in the truck and rip down the road and see if we can get down to that random grassy road that I looked down and was like, let's go walk that for the last part of the evening. So we did, right? We ripped down there. Chris was hauling ass in his beautiful Dodge truck.
It's so fast.
Beating the crap out of it down the mountain to get there in time.
It's like a race car.
And
the only way.
We get down to the spot.
This is the way.
And it was a trapped out road, right?
Yeah.
So you couldn't drive down it. It was completely trapped out. And but it was just like beautiful orchard grass growing in the middle of it. It just looked lovely.
It looks so good.
It looked like spring bear, and that was what caught my eye. And we were just driving by, and I was like, hey, that road right there looks like a good bear road. And we weren't even 100 yards down it, and there was like fresh shit in the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, here we go. Like this is what we want to see. This is what we want to see.
Right.
And so we're like creeping down the road, and it's getting to be like later in the evening.
Yeah.
Like we have like maybe 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes
of shooting light left.
Yeah. And we're trying to kind of zoom, but trying to be quiet at the same time because we're thinking that anything could happen at that point. And all of a sudden Chris is like, bear in the road. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I like, sure shit, there's the bear, and it's in the middle of the road, but it's kind of at a weird angle.
There was like a hump in the road.
Yeah, there was a hump in the road. It kind of like
behind the hump.
He was behind it, so all he had was like the top of his back, basically. And you could tell it was like a decent bear. We didn't really know how big. I just thought it was, it was a decent bear. Mm-hmm. And we watched it for a little bit and made sure it didn't have cubs or anything. And I just remember Chris was like, okay, get set up over here. And I tried to get set up there first, and that didn't work out. Mm-hmm. And it was just like the angle was bad. And like in order for us to get closer, the next closest shot would have been like 10 yards or less.
Because the road went down.
It would dip down into this like ravine thing and then went back up, and that bear was like kind of right on this little hump. Well, I'm trying to get set up. I can't get set up. And in reality, looking back, I should have just taken a freehand shot because it was only like 180 yards or something like that. It's not too far.
It was just shy of 200. And those of you who don't know, old Jimbo's a pretty good freehand shot.
Yeah, I should have just done it. But, and then I was getting flustered because of the camera. Like, we were trying to get everything on camera. And
which sucks, by the way.
yeah, it's not as easy as all you guys think. Like,
it totally sucks.
Getting the shot on camera perfectly and getting everyone in position and then lined up and then not having the bear wander off and nerves are going and stuff. And for whatever reason. So anyways, Chris, being the nice guy he is, takes his bipod off of his gun and like hands it to me and is like, here, use my bipod. And so I sit down, but when I sat down, I lose even more of the target because it's only the top of its back. Mm-hmm. But at least I'm like somewhat steady,
Right.
And I get like on it, and I'm shooting 230 grain Burger bullets out of a 300 Ultra Mag. So I'm like, dude, if I even get close to the kill zone, that bear's dead.
Hammers.
So I'm like, and this is the mistake I made, is I was like, I'm going to put it as low in the grass as I possibly can to try to like get it closer to the kill zone. I should have just kept it on a high shoulder shot and just hammered him. He would have dropped. But instead, I tried to pull it down into his kill zone a little bit more, tried to like split grass blades basically. And because of the way those burgers are, they're like exploding bullets almost, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that probably the bear was, I don't know, 12 feet probably behind the grass blades that I was trying to split. And I shoot, and the bear lifts his head up, like, what was that? And it's a giant, like a huge bear. I felt so bad. Oh gosh. And and before I can rack another round in, like he just raises his head up, looks around, and then just like, I'm out, and just bails off the hill.
Yeah.
And we run up there, and I remember Tayshawn's behind me, and he's videotaping me, and I already know what happened because I was like, that bear's not laying there dead. I just shot a 230 grain bullet at it. It would be laid out, or there'd be something. I'd hear something or see something, and it's nowhere in sight. And I I look down off the hill, and he's like, "Hey, what happened? Did you get it?" And I'm just pissed. I'm about ready to throw my gun off of the side of the mountain. And it's got a brand new Leopold on it, brand new, beautiful 300 Ultra Mag, and I'm like this close to throwing it off the edge, and I just look at T, and I just go, just wave my hand like, "Get away from me."
This is not good camera material.
And Chris,
right now.
I know Chris knew too.
Oh,
like when he got up there,
100%,
he was like, "Ooh, let James cool down a little bit."
Yeah.
But that bear was nowhere in sight, and oh man, I missed it. It was a giant bear though. It was the biggest bear of the trip that we saw for sure, dude. It had a giant head.
It was way bigger than that red bear.
Yeah.
It was a tank, dude.
Yeah.
And it's, it happens. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Those shots are tough. when
you're
you
in the
got some sort
moment,
of
and
a
then we're trying to
rise
get the
in front of you.
stupid camera set up.
Yeah.
And like,
And you're trying to split grass blades and stuff.
Yeah,
In
it's
reality, I should have just shot it freehand. Or on the flip side, just been like, T, stand behind me and follow me in a line, and we're going to Jim Shockey this thing, and I'm going to walk right up to this thing.
yeah.
But, it was kind of a little bit loud walking on that road because it was dry.
God, dude, we would have had to get so close. There's no way. Like,
Dude, I would have had to pop up right on top of them.
yeah.
And like,
Yeah, you probably should have just put it in the high shoulder.
oh, dude,
It would have
100%.
blew its spine apart, and
I think-
it would have been done.
Yeah,
I
it would
think-
have been done for sure.
Anyone who's never hunted with a camera before, and especially a cameraman that you're paying to be there, like you're trying to be like the freaking jerks on TV, and you're trying to do everything perfect and be all cool and not say the F words.
Yep.
And like everything has to be perfect, and it just throws you out of your natural rhythm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I hunt by myself, like,
It's quick straw McGraw, bro.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I've ever missed when I've been hunting just by myself,
Yeah.
Right.
honestly.
Right.
But when I'm with other guys, like either I'm trying to show off or I do something stupid or,
Yep.
you know,
you
like,
get a big head.
oh yeah, 100%.
Especially when you're on camera too. Like, I don't know why, but sometimes it just adds an extra stress to the whole situation.
Oh, dude, 100%. I'm like trying to suck my gut in the whole time, because it sucks, man.
Suck it in, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
But back to, so I posted today on the Bear Country Instagram about, we're doing a thing about bear tips for spring.
Yeah.
And that was one of the tips was grassy roads,
Oh, yeah.
especially either abandoned roads that are like trapped out or gated roads.
I think-
I've had a lot of success on those.
I think the gated and the tank trap roads are like, if I was gonna pick, like, if I'm gonna go beat brush, unless I have an incredible, I like to get high in glass, but if I'm gonna go walk anywhere or hike anywhere, like over a trail, over just a regular logging road, like if you can find something with a tank trap on it, and it's, I don't know why they're always full of grass,
Yeah. Because no one drives on them.
Yeah.
Even quads don't usually drive on them unless there's a way around it.
Yeah, there might be like a dirt bike trail on it or a quad or
Right.
something like that, but usually they're like, it's money.
Those are the best roads that I've found
Yeah.
for spring bear for sure. I've done a lot of spring bear hunting on roads like that. When I've drawn Washington tags, this bear was on a road like that, which I'll tell that story in a little bit. But there's I have like a criteria in my head of what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a spring bear road. It has to have fresh, like not just like tall grass that looks like,
Because you can't get it all, like, it can't be too big.
It can't be too tall
Yeah.
and too long because
Right.
they don't like that. They don't like
Right.
the stems.
Yeah, it's got to be fresh.
Yep, it can't be too dry. It's got to be just right. That neon green, fresh, new growth. If you can get into a lot of patches of that where it's like, I'd say between 6 inches and 8 inches tall. Maybe even 10 inches.
That looks like 30 inches to me. Dude.
What from here to here?
Yeah, this is 9 inches.
Chris, you got the jokes, don't you? So anyways,
I would say I think if you were going to, especially here in Western Washington, like, because there are tons and tons and tons and tons of those tank trap roads like you're talking about, because what happens is we're incredibly heavily forested evergreens here, and what a logging company will go in, cut these roads in, log it out, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they're not going to maintain those roads, so you got to tank trap them, right?
Right.
So people won't drive them, and liability and this and that.
Right.
So there's hundreds, probably thousands of miles of tank trap roads. Like, it's super, like, even if you're like old or got bum knees or whatever, like, it's super easy walking. Most of the time it's fairly quiet, that time, especially spring,
Yeah, especially on the
It's a
grassy
little bit,
roads.
a little bit wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've shot bears on those kind of roads a couple times, and I really think that that's a good thing to focus on when especially when stuff is too thick.
I like your flower tip too. That was a good one.
Oh yeah, the glacier lilies.
Yeah.
Which if you guys are listening, glacier lilies grow in Montana, has them, Idaho has them, even parts of Washington have them. I'm not sure about Wyoming and that far south, but I know Montana and Idaho have a ton, especially in the northern part. And those flowers, like we caught bears on them multiple times, hammering those flowers.
Yeah, that red bear was hammering those flowers.
Yep, and so was that black one that Brett shot.
Yeah.
And we saw other bears that were eating those flowers as well. And that was the first part of that growth too. Like it wasn't even like the peak of those flowers.
Right.
Another week, and we would have been like covered in bears on those
I
flowers.
shot like 30 bears.
But glacier lilies, grass, clover, they really will hammer the clover, especially the ones that are starting to like flower. Those little white flowers that come on the clover.
Oh yeah.
Dandelions, they love eating dandelions.
And they like them dead logs too, looking for bugs.
Yep, a lot of times
Flipping rocks.
Yep, dead logs where they can find termites and ants and larvae.
You guys saw a big bear on your way over to bear camp that one.
Yeah,
flipping rocks. Flipping rocks down the hill.
Looking for grubs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Before any of the real growth starts happening with the grass and stuff, a lot of times they'll start flipping rocks and digging grubs out of logs and stuff like that. And once the growth comes on strong, though, they kind of switch over.
Start switching over.
Yeah. And then as soon as any berries start coming on, they just drop all that other food sources other than, if they happen upon a kill or something like that, they'll switch into meat eater mode. But
yeah,
some of those bears are a little bit more carnivorous than others. That's the other thing.
And they like the nasty meat too.
Yeah, they will. So the other thing we were going to get at is the depredation of fawns, though.
Oh, that is massive.
Fawns and calves.
Yeah, massive. So, especially in where I was hunting in Southeast Alaska. So when you drive the road, so it's not a massive road system. As far as like when you think about here, like there's like a road north and south, and maybe like one or two east and west, and maybe circles around, right? So it's weird because the deer come down, and you see a million deer on the side of the road, right? Mm-hmm. And so when they come and start dropping fawns, the bears will just cruise the roads, and just absolutely destroy the fawn population.
Yep.
So the guys listening, like I'm sure you guys have seen, like a fawn. So they're born like they don't have a scent, right? So like they're not supposed to be able to be smelled. So their defense mechanism is they'll just lay down and they won't move. So literally, a bear can just walk up, or a coyote or whatever, and they won't run away.
No, especially not brand new ones.
Yeah, they just lay down.
Yep.
And so it's not,
And bears have incredible noses, and they can smell. They'll smell them out, because their noses are so much more powerful than most other animals.
I had some good notes, I think, from
The not just deer fawns, but calves too, like moose calves.
Oh yeah.
Elk calves, sheep, goats, all that. Like, and bears live at all different elevations, so all of these ungulates young are going to be hit by these spring bears. And not every bear is probably super, predacious, but I think especially like as they mature and they get bigger, they become more and more tuned into picking up the ungulate young and stuff.
I had a bunch of really good like nerd notes, and I can't find them, but so I had pulled up a bunch of info on like coyotes and stuff, right? And it was like some crazy massive amount, like in the spring when like coyotes drop their pups, and how many fawns just like a single female coyote will eat, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but let's say like 15 or 17 or something like that, right?
It was a lot.
It was a lot, like per
Yeah,
coyote, right?
more than you would think.
And there's millions of coyotes and this and that. And so, anyways, there was a study done on the East Coast somewhere, and it said like bears could have just as damaging effects on the fawn population. So if you can imagine, like, you know, a bear running a road and eating 2-3 fawns a day, you know, and there's 20,000 bears, you know, they're all not going to be on that same road, but at the same time, like, I mean, it's a lot, you know. I mean,
a big boar could really do some damage.
Holy crap, man! Like,
you know, and once they get good at it,
yeah,
they focus on that.
It's like
that whatever. What usually it's like a 3-week period when they're dropping fawns.
If you find them, you know.
Yeah, it's like garbage bears. Like once they start going to the garbage, you're always going to go to the garbage. Well, once you start finding fawns, like it's,
yeah.
I mean,
and it's not a long period of time, but during that period of time, like fawns are just easy pickings.
Yeah, they're easy pickings.
They get hammered.
You know, cats hammer them.
Oh yeah.
The
everything
coyotes,
hammers.
Yeah,
the coyotes
bobcats.
Are bad. The coyotes are just chasing the deer around over the spot that I'm hunting at.
The cougars
all the time.
Mountain lions, yeah. But bears are, you know, they're the top dogs when it comes to fawn predation, I believe, because their noses are so good. Those fawns think they're hidden.
And now we got
they
wolves
smell
too.
them. Yeah. And then wolves too. And wolves have great noses too.
Just wait, they're going to bring grizzly
So-
bears as well.
It's just, you know, like it just
wait,
all
that already
adds
happened.
fuel to the fire as far as where our ungulates are heading. And if you're not taking control and actually actively managing those animals, that's just like, you know, so let's say maybe a big boar only kills 10 fawns. Maybe only kills 5, you know, during a season, which I think would be a reserve number.
It was super low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is a lot in the population when you start adding in how many bears there are and how many deer there are.
Yeah, there's a bunch of bears.
And there's a reason why you don't see as many, at least I don't see as many fawns with does or calves with cows anymore like I used to. I remember seeing twins all the time.
Yeah, they get.
I feel like there's just the population of deer and elk has just been going down
Yeah,
drastically.
it's
over the
definitely
years.
like I've seen the bear populations
definitely
and cat
noticeable.
populations going up.
Yeah,
Oh, for
But
sure.
at the same
yeah.
time, you see all of the ungulate stuff going down.
yeah.
You know, they're cutting tags like crazy as far as like moose tags and sheep tags and stuff. Like we were going up. We were trending pretty high there for a while with moose, and now it's like little bit. And you've seen the same thing with elk.
Yeah.
You know, look at a good examples like Goose Prairie and the bumping and stuff like. They used to give out 150 tags for some of those units for
Right.
like Peaches Ridge,
Right.
and now it's down to
anymore.
like 20 or
Yeah.
like 15 or something like that, which
Yeah.
is just crazy. And that's not even that long of a time span. And there's a reason for that, and it's not because all of a sudden the cows just quit breeding and all that. Like
Right.
there's a reason why it's like that, and our game department just chooses to ignore it.
I've never seen so many predators as I've seen in the last couple of years.
Right?
I think last week I had like 50 yards from the house here. I had a cougar skulking around, and then which I'd seen a couple different times, like middle of the day. And then my mother-in-law, who lives on the property here, sends me a text. Her dog comes running in, and that dog's got a itty-bitty deer leg in its mouth. Mm-hmm. Just the bottom hoof of this deer, fresh, like
Yeah.
killed a day ago.
Yeah.
You know,
It's probably that cat.
probably the cat. You know, I mean,
most
we
likely.
have coyotes and bears, and I mean bobcats, and I'm out there trapping bobcats. Hell, I'll shoot a cougar too. You know, like, and I think that that ties into. I have. Can I show my show and tell?
Yeah. Show your show and tell.
Yes. Do your
Okay.
show and tell.
So YouTube viewers. You're in for a treat. So, this.
Has nothing to do with spring bear, but it's super cool.
Yeah, this better not tie in a spring bear. So you can't shoot bears with this. This is Do you want me to tie it? Do you want me to talk to like our current event type things? You want me, we'll save that for
Yeah,
later.
let's talk about it a
You
little
can
bit.
kinda- you can kind of tie that.
You know
into
what?
Yeah, this is like
because-
a double here.
yeah,
Loosey
might as
goosey.
well.
Okay, so first of all, this is an AR-15. Some liberal folks might call this an assault rifle, which is not correct. I have a thermal scope on
Politically
this.
correct.
Yeah.
Right?
So the thermal scope, outside of big game season here in Washington, you're legally allowed to hunt with this at night if you're in an area where you can shoot, a high-powered rifle. But you can call in coyotes at night and shoot them with this very effectively. I also have a sound suppression device on the end of this, and this works super well for managing coyotes. They're crafty, super crafty.
No doubt.
They're smart.
They don't give you a lot of time.
Yeah,
No.
I trap as well, and
I had them in my yard last night. I couldn't get.
yeah, in Washington
get a
State,
shot off.
you can't use body gripping devices for traps, right? So
Yeah.
trappers are restricted to use live traps. So I have to, trick a coyote
so
into
it's a
going.
giant cage, basically.
I have to
Right.
make a coyote go on a giant cage. I caught one. I've caught one. So yay for me. It's super, super hard. But if you want to help out with the predator population, this is a freaking hoot.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the funnest things to do. If you don't sleep, like, call the gun shop. We'll sell you a thermal.
Yeah.
We'll sell you. Well, that ties into our current events right now. We can sell you a gun for maybe another month. They're trying to push through an assault weapons ban, is what they're calling these things.
Yeah.
Which encompasses a bunch of different stuff. But basically, this platform, the AR-15, AR-10 platform, is basically getting banned, which is against your constitutional rights, unfortunately. But it's
So are they? Is it just assault weapons that they're trying to ban, or is it like semi-autos in
I
general?
think
Or
there's some pistols and even shotguns. That are
yeah.
listed
So there's
under this
all
bill
sorts of rules. So what they do,
really?
that they're sneaking in. Yeah.
so they're smart about it, right? Because there's some people that just absolutely like that. I mean, if you've been on the internet, you know that like some people just hate guns and they don't care and they want to ban every single one. So what they'll do is they'll flood the system with all these different bills, and something's going to get through, right? So they want to ban these guns. They want to, and they add all these stupid parts. And the people that write these things are complete idiots. They don't know anything about guns, and the terminology sounds like a teenage Facebook post about how there's the ultimate human killing machines, and like you don't know shit. Like
Yeah.
you literally don't know. It's so irritating. Anyways, so these are going to get banned. So if you want to buy one of these, most likely it will go through. Yes, it will probably go to the courts and will waste a bunch of my money and James's money and Doug's money, not the money that we donate to all of these fantastic third-party companies that do great things. NRA, FPC, Blood Origins, Howl.org, Gun Owners of America, all these great companies. But we're paying to fight those companies with our tax dollars,
Yep.
which is super great, which makes me really happy.
It's terrible.
It sucks. I mean, they piss away our money.
Yep.
Government's
100%.
just so they're incredibly irresponsible with their money because they know it's going to get challenged.
Right.
And they know it's going to get stuck in courts, and so we're going to pay to fight ourselves, which sucks.
Right.
But this platform,
I guess it's job security for them, huh? That's what
yeah.
it seems like.
vote these guys out.
Yeah.
I know there's some people that just don't have a brain in their head and won't, but there's a lot of people that, you sit on the couch and you get upset, but you got to do. A lot of those companies I just mentioned, they have like action items where you can get on their websites, and it's just a simple click of a button. That's it. You put in like
Right.
Chris Cantrell, hunting at CantrellOutdoors.com. Here's my address. Here's my phone number. Submit. And it's a you don't have to type anything. They have
pre-made
verbiage in there. It's fantastic. So I would highly recommend that.
And
but
do it as professional as you can.
Yeah, don't get pissed and don't call them shitheads and don't that doesn't help anybody.
That makes us look bad.
Yeah, like
you gotta do this
they're
right way.
shitheads.
They are,
but it doesn't help.
Let's use the proper terminology for it.
Yeah, Democrats. So, it is what it is. And don't get me wrong, like I know some good Democrats, some super solid people. One of my really, really good friends is a Democrat, and he's a great guy. We don't agree on a lot of things, but he's not like the hard left, completely, blockhead liberal that's just like, guns are the problem. Like, no, there's a lot of other problems. Parents are the problems. Kids are the problem. Bad parenting it starts with, honestly, I think. Parents, get your shit together. But back to this gun. So
Stay on track.
So this is a really, really good platform to hunt coyotes. If you want, they have night vision as well. So the difference between thermal and night vision, thermal doesn't need any external light, right? It doesn't use like an infrared light, you'll see like on hunting shows that have like a green light or a red light that they'll use for night vision, which is, if you want to get into it, it's a little bit cheaper. It still works if you don't want any light at all. You can use a thermal. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's an incredibly effective tool, and it's a hoot. Like, if you've never hunted at night, it's a lot of fun. I would highly suggest it. And either way, just get out there.
We need to go do that.
We should.
We always talk about it.
We will.
Just need to go do it.
We're going to go, as soon as this podcast ends, we're going to go outside.
We're going to go outside
coyotes.
and start shooting coyotes.
Yeah, I like that.
But if you get a chance, just get out. Either way, please go kill some coyotes, kill some bears, shoot some cougars,
Save some ungulates.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. And honestly, this is a fact. This is an undisputed fact. Bears make the most incredible process game on the planet. Like,
They do.
pepperoni sticks, summer sausage, bratwurst. Like, if you have a person who won't eat wild game, like John Tuss makes some of the most amazing, like, jalapeno pepper jack, like, processed summer sausage.
And incredible breakfast sausage too,
my God.
by the way.
Like, so good. So like, if you have a Nancy in your house, or your Uncle Bill has a soft palate, and doesn't like any of the wild game taste, like, get some of that made.
Yeah, it doesn't
Everyone
have
will
a
eat
lot
it.
of gamey taste at all.
No, it's like, it tastes like jalapeno and pepper jack, and it's really good meat,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my pro tip, and that's my soapbox. Thanks for listening, guys.
Way to go, Chris.
Oh, I like that. So, where are we at here, Doug?
Well,
what are we doing?
I think we should wrap this up. We should talk about what we're going to give away here.
Okay.
Because we kind of gave a little bit of a teaser at the beginning,
So-
but you didn't give the full beans.
We're kind of willy-nilly here. We got
It's just how we roll, folks.
So we're going to give away. Hold on a second. Stand by, folks.
Standing by.
If you guys can see, I'm doing a creepy face right now. We're going to give away a bag of Blackbeard's Delight.
Oh,
That's super good, by the way.
that's
Black
my
Rifle
favorite
Coffee, Blackbeard's Delight. It's a dark roast, and it's very delicious. And it's actually one of my favorite coffees.
Yeah.
And we're also going to give away another Tamarack hunting supply hat. Sorry, I just like being dramatic here. And then
one. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think we will do another T-shirt, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do maybe a Bear Country Outdoors T-shirt,
Or
or
we could spice it up a little bit here, Doug, and do a hoodie of some sort.
oh, easy there, big money.
I know that's big money.
Jeez, you guys. You want to do a hoodie?
We can just do a hoodie.
Let's do the green Bear Country Outdoors hoodie.
Okay,
This-
we're gonna do a hoodie.
Stay humble, hunt hard.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
So we have a army green Bear Country Outdoors Stay Humble Hunt Hard hoodie that we
You
will give
can
away as well.
Find that on our store at bearcountryoutdoors.store,
Mm-hmm.
or go to our website, bearcountryoutdoors.com.
Yep.
There's a link on there.
And all you have to do to win these wonderful prizes is leave a comment on our YouTube channel.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash, man.
You know what, dude? People are gonna get so
I
weird
know.
about it.
That's my. I hate that. By the way, when people
I
say
know.
that, that's the most.
So that's
irritating
us making fun of all the YouTubers out
Oh
there
my
that say,
God.
"Go ahead and hit that subscribe
thing.
button."
It
No,
works
we're
apparently.
just having
I don't
fun
know.
with it.
Yeah, we're
it-
just-
they make a bunch of internet dollars. I don't know. I don't know how this shit works. You know?
Yeah. So all you have to do is leave a comment before we do our next podcast next
Yeah.
week.
We will be doing some other giveaways. We had some people that donated some stuff. I wanted to say thank you to, and I will mention them right now. Jim Green Boots from South Africa. We will do a podcast about talking about some of my South African trips and some of the pros and the good times of that. Black Rifle Coffee is freaking awesome. We went hunting with them in Texas, and some of the nicest people, incredible company. I think we talked about this before. Like, I am heavily vested in their stock. I've lost a bunch of money. But I just bought a bunch more. It's down right now. You guys should buy some. It's a good company.
Yeah.
The guy from Tamarack gave us a bunch of free stuff to give away. It's super nice. And obviously, Josh over at Montana Knife Company. It's really hard to get their knives because they put them up and they go out of sale in like 5
And,
minutes.
Like, yeah.
Get signed up for the text alerts because their knives
And
are
the
awesome.
emails.
Yeah.
And everything.
They make
Know what's coming out.
their knives are freaking
Yeah.
really nice.
They are
Yeah.
really nice.
They're super
Extremely
nice knives. Yeah.
I know. I wish we could give one of those away, but they're so expensive.
It's an heirloom type.
We
thing,
we
like,
will
Yeah,
eventually.
you don't want to give it away, basically. when
No.
you get
It's mine.
hands on
I'm
No,
super
listen, if
stingy.
you-
I'm super stingy with my Montana Knife Company knife.
You can't have it.
It's so
Right?
nice. Yeah. No, you have to fight me for it.
Maybe eventually, maybe we'll do like a once a year giveaway or something
Yeah,
like that. Where
Maybe
we'll
we'll
give
have
away.
to have a little conversation with Josh, and maybe he can.
Yeah. No, he'll hook us up.
Get them
Hook us
real
up.
whiskey drunk. And,
Hey, yeah, perfect.
all right. Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate you
Don't
watching.
forget Loophole.
Yeah. Oh, shit! I dropped the ball. It's one of my most favorite companies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Come on, Chris.
Oh well, I only carry Loophole in the gun shop, and I have like $1 million of their product personally that I paid for. I'm not, the gun shop isn't sponsored by them. I appreciate them sending stuff out for the guys here at Bear Country, but they're the best. Like, I'm not going to mention the other companies. I have, if you ever come to the gun shop, I will tell you all about it. In person, but I'm not going to badmouth anybody on the podcast. But I will tell you that I've smashed their scopes. I've broke stuff. Their customer service is second to none. Their product is second to none. All the law enforcement builds I do out of the gun shop, all Loophole.
All Loophole.
Most of them I'm running a lot of Mark Vs for guys, and these are the best of the best. The guys I built the guns for. Top tier snipers. I mean, it's incredible. So thank you, Loophole. You guys should definitely support them. They're local, right out of Oregon, and I'm a big fan. So
Yep. For sure.
Well, right on. Well, I think that's going to conclude this episode, and thanks everybody for joining. Until next time, stay humble and hunt hard.
Yep.